The House is in continuing proceedings.
Honorable members, kindly take your seats.
Okay. Okay.
Can I have decorum in the House, please? Can I have decorum in the House and put an end to your small meetings in the web? There can only be one meeting. I'll now put the question. Honorable members, the question is that the 10th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendations contained therein be adopted, be approved. I give the floor to the honorable member from Mile 91.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank God for a day like this, because dealing with someone that has, I can say, 70% of the economic affairs of this country, I'm sure it should be a very important day. The bank governor, the rules, and the like. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the market's reaction upon the appointment of the proposed bank governor is enough for every Sierraleonean to know that there is hope in him. Because before his appointment, the dollar was chasing 2,500. But just upon his appointment, we saw some gradual decline. That is a testament. That's a very good reaction. So we are hopeful that upon his approval, we are going to see more decline in the exchange rate, inflation, and instability in our economy. But, Mr. Speaker, honorable members,
in other words, strengthening of the Leone.
Exactly, Mr. Speaker.
Against foreign currency.
Against foreign currency. Those are some of his responsibilities under the monitoring policies which falls under his purview. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I will not just be lavish in praises on nominees. The bank governor's office is a very crucial office in the management of our economy. For the Minister of Finance, their role is just to checkmate the expenditure and revenue, that's fiscal policy. But issues that have to do with the control of our exchange rate, of our inflation, of our prices, our macroeconomic stability, those are functions that squarely fall under the purview of the bank governor, or vis-à-vis the Bank of Stanley. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have seen that there is a huge drop or depreciation in our yields, which I think I need to draw the attention of the bank governor. Mr. Speaker, now for MPs, as the case may be before now, are likely to be slightly above 1,500. in 2018. Now, MP salary is less than $1,000. That tells you our money, the value of our money are so much in value that what your salary used to do for you 5 years ago is not enough to do the same current thing. And that's the same for teachers. Before now, $1 million yields is above $1,000. I mean, it's above $100. Their purchasing power was high. But now, the average teacher is still less than just $40 to $50. From 100 to 50. That tells you how much the depreciation in the yields is affecting the purchasing power of our people. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to draw the bank governor's attention to the cost of borrowing. So many people are here. They lavish a lot of praises on him. Mr. Speaker, the cost of borrowing is becoming worrisome in this country. Mr. Speaker, members, yeah, I can see there is no total control in terms of interest rates, which falls under its purview. You go to one bank, they will say it's 20% interest rate. Another bank will say 25%. And then for the MFI, that is microfinance institution, where these people are going for loans, they are charging not below 30% interest rate. Mr. Speaker, if I want to go to a business, imagine if I have to pay 30% in interest, how much should I make in profit? That's why the banks are not better off the lives of the people anymore. Because they are taking so much in interest, making the people worse off. And what is most understandable is the use of the amortized loan. They don't know how they call it. You go into a transaction with a bank, they will say they will give you 20% interest. But by the time you pay the loan, you end up paying more than 50% of the cost of the business. Exactly. And that is affecting business, Mr. Speaker. So I want to draw the governor's attention that people want to, we cannot do an economy without strengthening the middleman part of the business sector. It's key. We cannot just be exporting. Yes, it's good that you can sustainably control the exchange rate when you increase your export. But if you can also strengthen your business sector, it can go a long way to also stabilize the macroeconomic issues of the nation. And how would that be? It depends on how much you make cost of financing accessible, affordable, and reasonable to our people. Mr. Speaker, I also want to draw the bank governor's attention on the mobile money and the banks. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the mobile money, when you look at their cost of operation, it's very low. They don't build houses all over, offices all over the country. They house agents, and these agents are constituents. They are the ones that are lending services, orange money or African money services to us. They are going through the mobile companies, they buy, they give money, and then they give them some copy of equivalent. But they are lending the services to us. But Mr. Speaker, what is unfortunate, or what is the mismatch here is, for unlike the banks that are employing sierraleoneans, unlike the banks that are paying more taxes, Mr. Speaker, unlike the banks that are building their offices across the country, these mobile monies are charging exorbitant rates for their services. Mr. Speaker, for the commercial bank, what they charge as COT per transaction is 1 leone per every 1,000. 1 leone per every 1,000. For community banks, for them it's 4 leones, 1 leone, 4 leones for every 1 million, or the case may be. And then for the community banks right in our village, their rate is lower than the commercial banks there. But Mr. Speaker, when you convert that to percentage, the COT on transaction for banks, it ranges between 0.1% for community banks and 0.4% for commercial banks. But come to know how much these banks, these mobile monies are charging. Their interest ranges far above 5%. Mr. Speaker, for example, the difference between if I'm to send $1 million, if I should use the bank, I will pay 1,000 euros in charges. But if you are using, if I'm to use the bank, if I'm to use the mobile money, you pay 31 euros, including GST. And if you look look at the discrepancy, it's over 2,000% increase. It's very, very huge, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, that is also something I want to draw the governor's attention to. Mr. Speaker, members, I also want to draw the governor's attention to the reduction, the sharp reduction in our reserve. In 2021, our reserves rose to like something like $930 million. But Mr. Speaker, when you look at this project that we have just passed, the reserve dropped drastically from 900 and something, which was about 5 months of people's cover, to something about $432 million in 2023 as of October. That is worrying. We can understand for the reduction between 2021 and 2023 because we know there was this gap where the loans we are given to importers. But what happened between 2022 and 2023 that has caused this huge drop? The Lieutenant Governor will need to look into that particular area. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to talk on the proposed Director General of the Sierra Leone Roads Authority. That is Engineer Alfred Jalil Momodu. Mr. Speaker, this young man's appointment is a testament that indeed when you want things to be done and done adequately by young people. He is young but very much qualified. In all this time, he has worked in the SLRE from an engineer, from an attached engineer to now Deputy Director General and now proposed Director General. I'm not sure if there is anyone within that sector that is better qualified than Engineer Momodu. But Mr. Speaker, honorable members, there is a saying in one book which is called The Dilemma of a Ghost. They say, if a naked man promises you drugs, Dilemma of a Ghost. Yes, written by Ama Ata Ade. In that book, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the writer says, if naked promises you clothes, ask its name. If person name not get close, he say they give close, ask and say, why you naked? SO2, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of the SLRE to the situation of the road leading to the president's home. That road has started since 2018 when the president commissioned that road. He commissioned that road because it was commissioned in 2017. But it was decommissioned by the president in 2018. Since that time to date, not up to 12% have been completed on that road. That road is an eyesore. It's the president for God's sake. What hope will the Prof. The Kwenadugu Palaba, what hope will McKinney and others have? If the president road can take 6 years, 6 years without completion, what hope will they give to Jalil?
On my own road.
On my own road.
My DT road.
I want to. Mr. Speaker, that road needs to be given the utmost importance because that road is not only going to benefit the president. It's going to benefit the people of Sierra Leone, the people of Bond. They need that road. The people of Matuto need that road. We all know the touristic potential that Bond has. We all know even the economic potential that this man is coming involved in Matuto. Mr. Speaker, so much is coming from that district. Why would it take so long to complete a road that is just for 2 kilometers? That road is an embarrassment to the presidency. And I believe in the ability of this young man. I'm hopeful that we pay utmost importance to this particular road.
I think it's a threat to the life of the president.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, members, I want to also draw the attention of the Director General on some specific economic growth in this country. Mr. Speaker, it goes without saying that the road linking Ma91 to Robol is so much economical. The road linking Osotoka to Bo is so much economical. The road linking Magoka to Bumbuna and Benugu, those roads are economical roads, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't need to pass through Makeni. If I'm a Kono man going to Kono, I don't need to pass through Makeni. If that road is connected, I can easily use my 91 to Robo. By the time you think of it, you are in Kono. Why do someone need to pass from 91, going through Mashaka, and then you go to Makeni? Why would you just use the road? Would you save you cost? It will save maintenance cost and everything, Mr. Speaker. Those roads need to be given the utmost importance. They are important roads. Think of Jalil as the canal of the SFP. When the Escobar came in 2007, he didn't say because he didn't got so many votes in Kalau, and so he should not do their roads. He did their roads. So it's not a justification. Please pay emphasis on the Manentorobo Road, the Mototoka Bo Road, because it connects the south and the north, just with the tip of an eye. And come to see what is coming from Zompoli, Mr. Speaker. We are now contributing, we are not the bread basket, and it's coming from Melugu, from Bubuna. That road is impassable. So please, Mr. Director General, when I look at your resume, I know you can go for what you want and get what you go for. So I believe that with your expertise, you use all possible means to ensure that these roads are given the utmost importance. Mr. Speaker, remember, I have to talk on the commissioner that is going to the Local Government Service Commission. And I want to draw the government's attention to that commission. The man's qualification, of course, his qualifications are impeccable. He's so much qualified that he's just the right man in the right place. But Mr. Speaker, that commission is the most neglected commission. The Local Government Service Commission, you wouldn't want even your brother to work there. That's the only commission that do not have even a motorbike. Not even a bicycle, Mr. Speaker. And yes, we charge them according to Section 40 of Local Government Act 2021. They have a responsibility to monitor this country. They have a responsibility to formulate policies and to appraise the performances of this country. How would they do all that if they themselves are not capacitated? You cannot give what you don't have. If their capacity is not built, there's no way they can give capacity to others. And I want to call on the government, much as they are appointing people to these offices, that commission should be treated as an emergency. It needs to be given the needed capacity so that they can better monitor the council. Council play a critical role in the development of our council. If they are not better monitored, there is no way you can get better services. And Mr. Speaker, other members, the young man, I want to say the young man, went to the National Minerals Agency. He's old, but when he told his age, he said he was about 70. But when you look at him, Mr. Speaker, it's as if he just did his start. That is Mr. Alaji Mustafa Toure. You know, Mr. Speaker, the blessing is, of course, enough to pass a lot of us.
He's a youth.
Yeah, he's a youth. In fact, a young man. Mr. Speaker, in all of his life, he has also worked in the mineral sector. And particularly in a profession that is here to find Sierraleoneans occupying. That's diamond valuer. According to the Honorable Emma Leone from Kono, he said he's one of the few, if not the only, certified diamond valuer in this country. And Mr. Speaker, he has worked in this sector for over 40-something years. Hired by World Bank, going to various countries. So to me, coming back to this particular sector, even though he has been there, to me it's a testament that he's just coming back, he's just coming to pay back. But I want to raise attention also. So the concession that are given to some of these mining companies. You will give a license to a miner to mine gold. But it is the belief of our people that there are other minerals that are also coming from those areas that they are not disclosing to the Sierraleoneans. Please, if that is happening, make sure that your monitors actually ensure that the minerals or the license that are being given for them to mine are the minerals they should take out of our soil. Rather than taking, you have a license for ilmenite and then you end up taking gold and ilmenite as well. That is really on our economy. Mr. Speaker, other members, the young man going to the procurement agency is a young man, and having also looked at his CV, he speaks volume, and I know that he's also going there with the refined energy. to also ensure that he behaves as a young man. We are the engine of growth in this country. We have demonstrated it. You know that, like I said, if I should not comment presidentbio on anything, it's the fact that he built on solid foundation left side as a by young people. I cannot imagine in 2013, just in my 20s, mid-20s or so, I was in this parliament, making me the youngest at that time to have entered in this world. That's what the belief the then president had for your people. And the president has been so much also on it. And we have led another example. When you look at our front row here, we have the youngest leader of opposition. You can see that our leader here is also very young. And you can see that yes, I am younger. I am younger.
Very strong, very young.
I am younger.
Very strong.
And I'm who will imagine that?
I admire the way.
Very small.
I admire the interplay between young and youth. Very good. You are which category?
I am younger.
No.
He's young. Yeah, he's also young, but I'm younger.
I'm the youth. Just like Alaji Ture.
Exactly.
And you know, I'll tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Youth is measured not by age, not a number, but the function of performance.
Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude. But like I said, we are going to ensure that we follow through the road leading to the president, because that the construction of that road will give hope, or will give us the explanation that the Maboroka 91 road, the Ile Amasotoka to Bo, and Maboroka to Benugu road will be given the utmost priority. And I want to assure this house,
not forgetting the road to
the road to BT. This house will stop at nothing but to ensure that we continue to constantly raise the issues, to see that this road is given the utmost attention. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the governor is very important. He has given a notice for the discontinuation of the use of the old Leone. And that date is the 31st of December 2023. And we all know what is happening when December comes. For the past year, wherever there is December, we are always expressing huge shortage of cash in our banks. When you go for 10 million, they give you 3 million. They will rationalize the disbursement. And imagine if you are withdrawing a whole batch, or a whole characteristics of a currency outside of the economy. That one will also put some economic cover on the affairs of our people. And I want to call on the Speaker to urge the Committee on Information, Committee on Finance, to urgently summon the bank governor so that he can give us a clear plan as to how he intends to deal with the innovation of our currency. We cannot afford to be having one country, two currencies. We are embarrassed. That's why the inflation is now at about 54.something%, and for food inflation it's over 60%. You cannot control inflation with short imbalances in our fiscal space. So, Mr. Speaker, members, I want to urge colleagues that the nominees before us are all sierraleoneans, heavily qualified, competent, and I believe that they can do better in the position that they have been appointed to serve in. And I want to urge you all not to disappoint this house. I want to urge you all not to disappoint the people that are seated out there. The exchange rate is killing. Please work on that. And as I said, the issue of the orange money, don't leave it in the hands of NAFTA. NAFTA's role is just because they are using the orange, they are using network. But when it comes to the determination of the interest rate, it falls under the purview of the Bank of Jalil. Make sure you regulate that. I cannot pay 1,000 euros for use of bank, one euro for 1,000 to a million, and then when I go to mobile money, I pay 31,000 euros for transacting also a million. The imbalance is too much, and that is affecting our people. So please work on that and count on our support. Thank you very much.
I want to thank the Honorable Member for his very brilliant contribution to the debate. Let me just add a word of caution. It's born out of experience, and it goes to the governor. You've given a terminal date for the old currency to remain in circulation, and that is the 31st of December. After that, any old currency in the possession of anyone should be transacted at the central bank or a commercial bank, which is fine. The only word of caution I would like to give is maybe there is wisdom in restricting it, that transaction, post 31st December to the central bank and not to any of the commercial banks. If you really want proper control and proper sanity to be introduced into the financial system, it is better to give that jurisdiction to the central bank rather than to both the central bank and the commercial banks. That needs to be watched very, very carefully. The central bank, after all, we know its pivotal role with regard to the value of our currency. There are some people who may be hoarding the old currency in quantums that may be beyond imagination. Waiting for what? We don't know. When the rush comes after December 31, let it be directed to the central bank alone and not to any bank. I give the floor to the honorable member from Bo.
Which of the both?
The one with the hat.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to have a very brief bite of this important debate. You want to see my face? No problem. You'll see it for sure. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we are happy because we have some people, dignitaries before us here that we are going to approve. But before I make specific comments on any one of them, I want to admonish them generally. Today you are before this honorable house for approval. The president nominated you because we practice separation of power of government. The legislative arm of government, that is our responsibility to approve you people. The president, that is the executive wing, nominates you. If you are not approved, then you will not definitely take up those offices. Most times, when you come to this world, you are approved. The sooner you leave this place, you think Parliament is no longer superior, it's not superior at all, it's an inferior institution. Or you want to crave your indulgence. It has happened to a lot of people. We want to crave your indulgence, this particular batch, because I'm seeing a lot of people of substance. All of you are people of substance. I know some of you, I know your background. But let me take you one after the other. I want to toe line with the honorable, a very senior honorable from the other side, the honorable from my 91. I want to thank him very much for his concerns And when it comes to economy, we are talking about economy. We are not going to politicize it at all. Each and every one of us have to put our hand on deck to make sure that our economy is revived. We know it's a global situation. It is happening everywhere. But ours is our concern. Let us work, let us put hand on deck and make sure that the economy is revived. And I want to assure you, with the 2024 bills just enacted by this Honorable House, there are a lot of things there, and I hope and pray that that one will also is going to help us to make sure that our economy is brought back. I want to zoom in Dr. Stevens of the Bank of Sierra Leone. Dr. Stevens, you are one person, you've been acting in that position. You are a deputy. We all know in this country, a deputy, you do not have absolute say. You work under the directive of your superior. And you have been acting. Now today, we are advocating for you to be approved. You become a substantive. You have no excuse to give this Honorable House. No excuse. Because you have all what it takes, you have the powers, you are the substantive bank governor, you know what and what to do. If you have a cause to practice the Mungu, SO2, the Mungu politics for revive the economy, practice the Mungu politics for revive the economy, practice the Mungu economics for revive the economy. You can go to Leone College of Economics and do all, you have all the qualifications, like my landed speaker there. Okay? But don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth. But what? No, my landed speaker. But you know, he is from Cambridge and he's maintaining his related law that is from Cambridge. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. That's why most times when I stand to speak, I would want to thank you because you have supervised me for almost 6 years now. And you have trained me in a way that I'm fit for purpose. The bank governor, we know we have difficult situation, economic situation. You did not create it, it's not your fault. We have global shock and some internal problems. In the first place, maybe your predecessor, he came up, he took up that office when we were in austerity. And for you to come up from austerity, it means a lot. It's a very difficult situation. But we are there. That is why when we talk of government is continuity, government should be continuity. But most of the people don't want us to say these things. The time the economy is buoyant, that should be the time you create resilient economy. So even when you have external shock, you will not go down. But we did not see that happen. But we want to crave your indulgence. In the midst of all difficulties, we know you pay attention and you listen to other people. You have a team that you are working with. You have to listen with your team, to your team, especially good ideas, not everybody that you'll be taking advice from. Because some people will give you wrong advice as well. And you have to work hand in glove with this Honorable House. When you work hand in glove with this Honorable House, it's not all, most times you have my colleague, they want to call the bank governor now to come and give us updates on the economic situation. But when you are working hand in glove with the ministry, the Committee of Finance, all your activity will be in their bosom. Most times, even when you are not there, the Committee of Finance will be called upon to explain what is happening in the economic space. But in a situation where they are not treated, you do not see them as any people, then you're beating a dead horse. I've always cited an example. Even when the Minister of Energy is not here, Deputy is not here, Ex-Director General is not here, any crucial matter on energy related, you ask me, I will answer. That is what we want other sectors to handle their committees in this parliament. Let parliament be abreast with all your activities. Mr. Bank Governor, as I said just now, there is a document we approved here 3-4 weeks ago, Sika Energy Project. It is right before you. It is right before you. We want to make sure that will provide sustainable electricity for people of Sierra Leone. And this Sika energy is in the western area, 30 megawatts in the eastern part of Freetown, 10 megawatts at Kungi. It is right before you. I want to crave your indulgence, Mr. Governor. Please treat it with every amount of urgency, because the people that are funding that project are waiting for that document urgently. I want to crave you, I'm not urging, I'm craving your indulgence. That's your office. You know what and what you're doing. You are doing due diligence, but make sure it is expedited. Number two, the one good thing the Finance Act 2024 is going to do for us, and it's going to make your situation pushing a little, it is the repatriation. The repatriation in the 2024 Finance Act we have just enacted. It's going to help you to a very large extent. Mr. Speaker, previously, since 2021, it was expunged, especially for mining sector, it was expunged, repatriation was expunged. I felt it. In 2016, in my first debate, my maiden speech debate in this world, I reported to this house.
2016?
I reported on 2016. The report I read to you was for 2016, in 2018, my 2018 debate.
No, you are not here.
I was never. I told you, 22 mining companies we are assessed. And those 22 mining companies were only able to repatriate $72 million, a very small sum. Sierra Leone was only able to repatriate $6 million. Mr. Is an insult. But with the 30% that is now enacted in the 2024 finance bill, I hope and pray you are going to use all strategies to make sure that the 30% are repatriated. Otherwise, next year when you come here with the Finance Act, I told, when we are in Committee Room 1, I said it, we want when you come here next year, tell us, how much was repatriated by these different mining companies? Let us know. It is not just putting it in black and white. We want to see them implemented. Once those things are implemented, then it will start pushing our economy. Because repatriation, 30%, you bring how many $1 million? Bank of Sierra Leone stays with Bank of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, they are not paying their staff in foreign currency. Let us assume you have $30 million as repatriation. When you want it, the Bank of Sierra Leone will give you local currency to go and pay the equivalent in local currency. Then the dollar remains with Bank of Sierra Leone. After 1 or 2 years, can you imagine what will actualize from that one? So those are the concerns for you. And I want to go to my brother, Engineer Momodu of SNI. Mr. Speaker, Honorable members, this is a man I have admired because of his disciplined nature. How? Don't worry, I'll tell you. But I'm not addressing you, I'm addressing Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2019, I lobbied for a project. That is your work. If you do not know what you are supposed to do, then to commence with your work. I lobbied for a project. And they told me, no, we will not give you that money, but we are going to do it through SLRA. That's what the law says. That money was transferred to SLRA. There was some delay in the implementation. It was Ms. Engineer Momodu that stood his ground that we have to make sure that this project starts next week. At all costs. Mr. Speaker, just imagine a honorable member just coming to Parliament. I have assured my people, I have lobbied, there is money for you, and there is delay in the job. The day he told me that, and he sent the engineer there, Mr. Speaker, I spoke all the beautiful English. And my people told me, hey, honorable, guess what, now English they tell you now, okay, you look like you don't advance so. I was impressed. He is disciplined. He is a disciplinarian, Mr. Speaker. My colleague raised a question that like the road leading to the president's home, the road leading to BT, and the Bo Matotoka road. The engineer wants those roads to fix within a twinkle of an eye. Within a twinkle of an eye, they want those roads to be fixed. But how are they going to be fixed, Mr. Speaker? When you tell the dog, you have to tell the bone. He does not have the resources for himself. SLRA itself does not have the resources for themselves. They have to be funded from sources. the Ministry of Finance, the IMFA, and that is one of the reasons, Mr. Speaker. We need to bring SLRA and IMFA together to make sure this assistance is free. Both institutions need to come together, let them work hand in glove. Because most times the IMFA mobilize resources. Most times they support SLRA. But we want to see how that is happening. And thank God the bank governor is here, the Minister of Finance, when he comes here for the budget debate, I will tell him also. We want them to capacitate the SLRA. We want more. SLRA needs money. If they do not have money, how are they going to make zero, Mr. Speaker? Is that possible? If they are working on a zero, they come to Mr. Speaker, SO2 1 5 drum is there. He said, look at the food. Just let that off. I know Mr. Speaker, it doesn't happen. You cannot do that. So they want the resources. The required resources for the road work is needed by SLRA. They will look at Engineer Momodu, let us sit and see. He has been given billions to do the roads and he fails to do it. We'll bring him here for questioning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to refer to another sufferer. Another sufferer. I don't want anybody to ask me what do I mean by that. But the individual knows what I'm saying here. Augustine Tommy. Augustine Tommy is another hard-working sierraleonean, a very young man. He's also a disciplinarian. But you know, most times, the leader of opposition, most times, I wonder when I'm speaking, you know, we have personal relationship. You used to applaud me when I'm speaking. You want to debate this time around. I will not allow that. We have been very good friends. We have been very good friends.
Honorable member, can you give me a minute so that I applaud you so that I continue?
Fine. Mr. Speaker, the leader of government business said something here. We have our own quarter. That is far beyond your comprehension, Mr. Speaker. Myself and the honorable here and the deputy from my 91. We are very close, Mr. Speaker. Very, very close.
Since when?
Since 2018, Mr. Speaker. I want to show you.
That's within my jurisdiction.
Out of parliament, it's up to you. We are very close, out of parliament. And we are close out of parliament. And that is the
within my own jurisdiction.
No problem. And you are my mentor. Accepted. For the fact that you are my mentor, whatever comes my way, you are a contributing factor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And remember what section 97.
I know you have the laws in your book. So I will stand your way, Mr. Speaker.
In and out of parliament, you are subject to
always, even when I'm not a honorable member, but long before I became honorable member, I was under your directive. Yeah, when the honorable speaker who knows between his left and right speaking, don't urge him to speak like somebody who is just coming to the well. Please. Mr. Tommy, I refer to Mr. Tommy just now. He's a young man, he's going to NPPA. Mr. Speaker, NPPA is one institution that we expect to help the government to reduce unnecessary spending. Unnecessary spending. Mr. Speaker, it is in this country most times you go to some offices, they are costing exercise book, maybe tactical 50,000 euros. Things that you know that they are cost 10 millions, they cost you 25 millions or 30 millions. His predecessor, Mr. Suarez, was there, he stood his ground. He saved the government, in the 5th Parliament, he saved this government a huge chunk of money. We want you to follow suit. Because that is the essence of the establishment of that office. You work in the interest of government, don't just let things as they are, loose like that. Especially when you are operating with civil servants. You have to take your time. Otherwise, they will land you on a regret wharf. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, of course, Mr. Abubakar Keru, the local government service commission. Mr. Speaker, I was in the local government committee in the 5th Parliament. We had serious headache with that commission. Very serious headache with that commission. Thank God the chairman the then chairman, he knows between his left and his right, and he has been in the local government system. Had it not been that, those people we are even going, most times they want to go into blows in our presence, Mr. Speaker. Can you imagine the seriousness of that? The local government service commissioner feels he is more superior than the minister. The minister feels he is more superior. Then you have some other people who say, no, we are not working with this. There was one time the former local government, the local service commissioner said he does not take directive from the minister. He does not take instruction from the minister. Most times he usurps powers. We met on their matters several times. Being a citizen, but most times he too was a seasoned civil servant. So that's why most times some of these CVs, I don't admire them, it's the performance. Some people have very rich CVs, but their performance level are very low. Very, very low. You have all what it takes. You have the PhDs, you have the masters, you have been in civil service for 20 or 30 years. The experience we had in the local government committees, Chairman, well experienced people that have worked in the civil service. Those are the people that are breaching the mere civil service, the mere local government act was breached on several bases. So I want to thank all other people present here, all other nominees. I plead with this honorable house for quick approval of this honorable bill. The only thing, my colleague just went out and made mention, of course, presidentbio is not somebody who practices tribalism, sectionalism, regionalism. As long as the resources are there, he's ready. As long as the resources are there, he's ready to inform everybody. Mr. Speaker, in your presence, I stood in this way when it came to teachers' recruitment, how it was distributed. Beyond regional line. I have evidences. And I knew MP will also tell you the latest development on that in the finance, in the budget debate, Mr. Speaker. I am above that now. I'm looking for higher height. So somebody just coming with information to tell you when the resources are available, presidentbio is ready to satisfy everybody in this country. Whether you are coming from north, south, east, west, and north, wherever. Like the Kailan Road, of course, but I also wear praises at you, let us say it. The Kailan Road was done under the supervision of President Nkrumah. We want to thank you very much. But the funds for that project was sourced by John Benjamin as a former Minister of Finance. Then when we left power, it was implemented. I want to thank him. Before I thank the President Nkrumah's led government, I want to thank President Kabal's led government and the former Minister of Finance, John Benjamin, for sourcing funds for that Kailan. And I also want to thank President Nkrumah and others, his team, for implementing it. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I had another appointment, but have been cancelled, Mr. Speaker. So I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to have a bite on this all-important debate. I want to pray with indulgence on this honorable house for the speedy approval of these nominees. Thank you very much.
I thank the honorable member for his contribution to the debate. Let me recognize the lady at this point. After the lady, I will recognize the deputy leader to my left, and then the member from in that order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the floor. I want to first of all congratulate all the nominees here this morning. And I want to say, by the grace of God, all you are good. I want to specifically talk to the bank governor, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Aminyaba Moriba from Bodi State. Mr. Bank Governor, sir.
Not yet.
Proposed.
I believe the president believes in you. That's why he has given you that difficult office to handle. I'm new here, so I'm not going to talk for long. Like my colleague said, I need them to talk for long here. My concern is the dollar rate. I want to wake up one morning and see Sierraleoneans refusing to accept dollars. Yes. Because, for example, if you go to China and you want to change the dollar to yuan, they will refuse it. They don't want to see dollars because they have value for their money.
No, you've gone too far.
If you go to South Africa,
Honorable member.
yes, sir.
Let me help you by citing an example from Africa. About 2-3 weeks ago, I was in Luanda, Angola. And I think what I'm about to tell the House can be confirmed by the Honorable from Kono. You cannot go to any shop in Luanda with dollars and expect to be received with your dollars. They will show you the road to the nearest bank to go and convert your dollars into local currency. Neither the hotels nor the business houses accepted foreign currency. They accepted only their own currency. Go on. So don't go too far to China.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There are some countries, if you don't even show your passport, they will not take your dollar. Yes. But here in Sierra Leone, we are not protected because our money is divided. Like, for example, when they are charging us for house rents, they charge us in dollars. They don't even want to know the equivalent of what they are giving us in loans as to the exchange rate today. When they say this house is $6,000, they are expecting you to pay in the equivalent of the dollar rates at the black market. And that is not what is given to us as MPs to pay our rent. So, Mr. Bank Governor, please, I want to wake up one morning and see Sierraleoneans, especially in the Western area. This is my first time of coming to stay in the Western area. I've never paid a house rent in my life. This is my first time. So I feel so bad. Yes.
Sorry, Honorable Member. Mr. Speaker, the time is 12. I move that SO5 to be suspended for the business of the House.
Any seconder to that motion?
Second.
I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Madam, you may continue.
I want to applaud him because for the few times he has stepped into that office, you see the dollar, going down. But he has to do more. The dollar is killing us. Anything you want to buy in this country, we charge you in dollars. And honestly, I would advise, I want him to work on this issue. That whatever is due to MPs particularly, let them stop converting it into dollars. Let them say them in loans. That so much loans to one person. Because the outside idea, our constituents, when they hear, they gave them $6,000 for rent. They magnify it. Sometimes that $6,000 does not even pay the house we want to have. So I'm appealing to the bank governor. So please work hard. That we wake up one day and hear Sierraleoneans charging our house rents, especially in the western area, in loans instead of dollars. I want to congratulate the SLR boss. The SLR boss, you have a lot of job to do. Most of the roads in this country are dilapidated. Our constituents are not happy with us. Sometimes they believe it is our duty to fix roads, members of parliament, and that is not our duty. We are not responsible for development. I believe even before I came to this parliament, there has been no development fund given to MP. That has been stopped slowly. But their expectations are too high. So we are pleading that they pay attention, not only to big cities, but to big cities. So our feeder roads in our villages, our towns, so that we can breathe a good air in our constituency. Of course, your appointment is a plus to both districts because you are coming from the both districts and we are very proud of you. So Mr. Tommy, NPPA is a very, very challenging institution. You are my son. You too, you are coming from both districts. Your father was a very hard worker. So please, when you go to that institution, let the contracts go to deserving people. Because contracts are going the wrong way and the blame comes back to government. It comes back to government because of the people who are manning those offices. And you don't take responsibility that we are the ones who awarded those contracts to the wrong people. They say government did not do the road. So please, I want to appeal to all of you. The local government man, that ministry again is a challenging one. There is always personality conflict between the CAs and the chairmen and the mayors. There is always personality conflict. You have to go look into that one too. Otherwise, nothing will happen good in those local councils. Even the functions are not devolved. Everything is still centralized in this state town. And the local government was supposed to devolve functions of the local council to the different provinces. So most of you there are going to handle offices that have very big challenges. I pray that God guide you. I pray that God direct you. And please, like my colleague said, don't overlook the MPs. It's true that most of the time, when you want to be approved, you will be here 247 365. But when once you are approved, you don't even pick our calls. We will march into your offices, knock on the doors, and remind you that we approved you. That is why you are seated there. Like I always say, the president always consults this house to approve you. But when he wants to fire you, he does not consult anybody. He does not owe anybody an explanation. He will fire you at his own will, and he knows the same. So be very careful, and don't forget these people up here who are here to cheer you up. Some of them have traveled far and wide just to come and cheer you up. Some of them don't even know you personally, but your name, and you are coming from their distance. Move them to come here today to cheer you up. So please, I'm asking this house that we already approve these 5 nominees that are here before us this morning. Thank you.
I thank the Honorable Lady for her contribution to the debate. The Honorable from Momodu.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as you can see, I'm not supposed to speak through this mic. I'm rightly placed here, but since fifth parliament, this mic has not been working. So I plead with your office that this time around, please fix this mic. I'm supposed to be here, not here. For the indulgence of my leader, I'll speak through his mic. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the report before this House, based on page 8, the last paragraph of page 8, is a unanimous decision of the Committee on Appointments. It's a unanimous decision of the Committee on Appointments. And it's a recommendation urging all MPs to approve. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm not here to tell you what to do. But as a sierraleonean, I've been tempted to guide or to suggest, to request. I will listen to our honorable member from 91. You will agree with me, and I'm even more emboldened now to do this request. That as long as approval of presidential nominees is concerned, it's my humble request that you hear more from this side. Because once this side, from the opening statement to our closing statement, urge members of the House to approve, then what else do you have to say? I know we are members of it, but is this even more credence to the individuals, especially from this side? So on that note, Mr. Speaker.
No, I'm sorry. You stick a pin on that one. I will find it very difficult to adhere to your advice, because to my right, there are also members who are not members of the Appointments Committee that may want to take the floor. What will you say about it?
Mr. Speaker, that is why I'm not saying you should not listen to them.
Give more attention to us.
But at least like 55–60%.
Leave it to my discretion.
Much of that is on that note, I go straight to the point. Mr. Speaker, without wasting time, I will zoom in on only one presidential nominee for management of time. And that is the proposed Director General of Sierra Leone Roads Authority. Sierra Leone Roads Authority. I've been looking for this opportunity, like missing diamond, and today I have it. I believe you are perfectly fit for this responsibility, of which you are before us for approval. You are fit, you are qualified. And we will approve you. God willing, we will approve you. But after approving you, I'm encouraging you to take note of the following points as one of your principal responsibilities. Number one, since Adam and Eve, this terrain from model to parliament, I believe, is part of State House Avenue. And for the past 3 or 4 parliaments, since 2002 to date, that road has been the perpetual road for all speakers successively. By divine providence, previous speakers, including the president, has been located on the west side of Freetown. They perpetually use that road to come to this fair to perform their constitutional responsibilities, including members of parliament. But Mr. Speaker, you agree with me that right from your house, and even members of parliament from the west side to this one, the most bumpy area is this short road from Model to Parliament Precincts. It is the most bumpy area, even though very short. I'm using this opportunity through your office, Mr. Speaker, that my proposed Director General, after being approved, please consider this small distance. It forms out of State House Avenue. State Avenue. Remove those bumpy roads. It's very short. It doesn't cost much. Well, at least by the time you come to Parliament Precinct, let you know that I'm now around Parliament Precinct. It's the most bumpy road. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the issue of Momodu. You will all agree with me that Gumuna has been the breadbasket for years in this country. It has been the main source, the principal source of electricity for over 20 years. As it is now, it is at its highest peak. We rely on electricity from Gumuna. But when you take the road from Aproval to Gumuna, it is one of the most deplorable roads. It's unfair. And the road to Gumuna is not political. It's not based on regional. It's not based on tribal. It's not based on any political party interest. It's based on fairness. Gumuna, for supervision, for constant supervision, timely supervision of that source of light at the dam, which is now currently operating, it is but fitting that the road from Aproval to Gumuna is fixed. In fact, it is long overdue. It is long overdue. And when you talk about the mining industry, since 2013 to date, Gumuna has been the principal mining industry after Ghana. Because Ghana is going down now. It has been the breadbasket of our mining industry for years, but now it's going down. Gumuna has problems. Mr. Speaker, you agree with me that supply of iron ore, even our only way to transport ore from this country, is directed straight to Gumuna. And for proper supervision of that iron ore mines, for proper oversight by members of parliament, by committee of works and infrastructure, it is but fitting that Gumuna road be fixed. And even on the Momodu road, as our honorable member from 91 earlier said, Mr. Engineer, sir, I have assured you, by the power of God, we will approve you. But having been approved, please give priority to Gumuna. If I have my way, even the Aproval Gumuna road and Gumuna to Bingola road, I will fix both. If I have my way, Gumuna deserves both. But if he cannot do both, do one. Within the shortest possible time. It will be good for the benefit of this country. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in 2013, when I was a member of parliament, of the 4th parliament, I mobilized my constituents at home and abroad to commence a bridge and a 84-meter bridge project. That bridge project serves as a link between Kwalenugu and Kono, between the north and the south, between constituency 46 and the Sando constituency. I've forgotten the number. But it is an interregional bridge, inter-district bridge, inter-chiefdom bridge, inter-constituency bridge. And I can recall very well, you are on record, we have our written records, that even you, Mr. Speaker, you contributed towards that bridge. You gave your resources, personal resources, to ensure that bridge was fit. Even our Honorable Deputy Speaker here, he gave his personal resources. It's not political.
So have you completed it now?
Mr. Speaker.
It's coming.
Mr. Speaker. That is why I'm talking now.
Mr. Speaker.
In late 2019, Mr. Speaker, when power changed hands, our brother, Umar Napoleon Kurma, who is now the current Secretary General of the SAPP, he pleaded with His Excellency the President to take over. And mercifully, the President accepted and took over. That's the good news I have for you. But my problem is, since the government took over, for which we are very much grateful, from 2019 to 2023, it is yet to be completed. And the President has ordered payment of that money long since. Money has been paid. It has been awarded to a contractor. And up to now, the bridge has not been completed. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, through Committee of Works, I'm speaking directly to the Committee of Works, through your office, and also to SLRA as a supervisory entity for all bridges in this country. That money has been paid, it has been awarded to a contractor. The contractor has started his work, but up to date is yet to be completed. And above all, one of the pillars has collapsed. One of the pillars has collapsed. I will show you the picture, Mr. Speaker. Our president has approved. Our president has paid the money. His Excellency presidentbio has paid the money. But now one of the pillars has collapsed. When some of us want to probe into Islam, they will say it's politics. There is politics and it cannot be politics, Mr. Speaker. You will agree with me, it's not politics. It's not politics. We've received contribution from SRPP, from friends and well-wishers, of which you fall under that category. As a friend and well-wisher, you contributed, the Deputy Speaker contributed. But up to now, it is yet to be completed. So, Mr. Speaker, through your office to SLRA as a professional body, I'm urging you, as having been approved, please pay attention to that big project. We don't want that money to be wasted. Government has paid, and we are expecting a finished product. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I said before, I will zoom in only on one nominee to save time. When I was a small boy, I was trying to learn to spell Leone in my social study class. There was what we used to call Public Works Department, PWD, Public Works Department, which was replaced by SLRA. Mr. Speaker, you will agree with me that when Public Works Department was in full operation with the staff recruited at every kingdom level, they were mandated to fix all the road problems within their jurisdiction, within their kingdoms, and it worked. It was good. But since that department was cancelled, for now, roads that we consider as feeder roads, that are not trunk roads, they are bad off now. They are dilapidated. No more maintenance.
I cannot say with any degree of confidence the way you said it, but let me say this. Things have deteriorated from PWD. In fact, I remember I gave them the meaning of the acronym. Instead of Public Works Department, I called them in the well of this house Public Waste Department. When I debated here in those days. Now, but let me tell you something. When they were PWD, you will see them on the road pretending to work only very close to the end of the month when salaries were due to be paid. And I observed the PWD workers on my own road to Binti. I'll never see them after payday, but I'll see them 2 or 3 days before payday, pretending to be working. The moment they receive their salaries, they will then disappear into thin air. So that problem, I don't know how satisfied you are in Kwenadugu, but frankly, my own experience is different.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if we are to be true to ourselves, for me, I must confess that it worked in my children compared to now. It worked for roads that are not covered by SLRA, that needs daily maintenance. They have supervisors. Mr. Speaker, in fact, that is SO2 is a serious part of sierraleone attitudinal problems. Most of us are eye servants. It comes across. Most sierraleoneans are eye servants. When the postman is around, you walk. When he's away, you do nothing. SO2 is the serious part. It cuts across, Mr. Speaker, not only PWD. That is why there is room for administrative arrangement and supervision. To be true to myself, in my own kingdom, the supervisor used to have bike. And he didn't supervise them. It was working. I cannot dispute you. We have never been to Quincy in the first place. So I cannot dispute the fact. But you agree with me that every human being, we need supervisors, we need monitoring. Otherwise, they will go out for their salaries but they will not earn those salaries. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it's just a concern that if there's a way, I'm not saying you institute the PWC system as it were before, but the work they used to do, of which there's a vacuum now, I'm urging the proposed DG of SLRA through you, Mr. Speaker, that after being approved, he considers that role. Instead of the staff, he considers the role they used to do. That role, there's a gap now. And as a result, the roles are not being fixed on a daily basis. Think about that and see how best you can solve that problem. Otherwise, things are going from bad to worse. On that note, I urge my colleagues, as I open up, that we on this side, on behalf of my constituents, on behalf of this side, I urge my colleagues to join Mr. Speaker in approving this nomination. Thank you very much, and God bless.
I thank the honorable member for his contribution. It is with some regret that I have to now introduce a new rule to the debate. It's not entirely new. It's always there for me to use. I would not have liked to use it at this point, but the way I feel the air conditioners are not working as efficiently as they should, and I can feel the heat even from where I'm seated here. And I can imagine a good number of you are feeling the same way. So I will now going to impose a time limit on your contributions. Not more than 3 minutes as Speaker. I will endeavor to accommodate as many as I possibly can, but I will have to limit your contributions time-wise. I did say, I think after the deputy leader, it was going to be the member from Canada. And this new rule will apply from you.
Thank you.
Going forward.
When it comes to order, you talk as somebody, you need 2 minutes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the nominees before us are suitably qualified for the positions which is appointed by the President. And they did very well in the appointment committee as per the report presented by the leader of government business.
Thank you. Don't bother to try to catch my eye if you are a member of the appointments committee.
Mr. Speaker, like I said, they are usually and stoutly qualified, but they have responsibilities. There are challenges to the office of which they will be appointed. And as sierraleoneans, we want to see those problems fixed by these highly qualified persons once they occupy those offices. I will probably talk on a few of them. The Chair, Board of Directors, National Minerals Agency. By his resume, he has been in the diamond industry or the mineral sector in this country for a very long time. 2, 3, 4 decades ago. But I think that we can remind ourselves that minerals have been around in this country for quite a while. And the benefits we get, both as a government and as the people, have been very, very minimal for all these years. Until very recently, when we have better legislation, we have magnanimous government that even the mining communities have started realizing, and the government. And so definitely, we are not at par with countries that have had mineral wealth all these years. not in Africa, not in some other parts of the world. And so, as board chairman of the NME, you will join your colleagues that are other board members to provide for the policy guidance for that institution, so that the administration will use them well, so that we will realize the communities, the government can benefit from our mineral riches in this country. I think you have a responsibility, given all the experiences you acquired, all the education you have in mineral polishing and so on and so on. Let's use them for the benefit of our people and the government, so that government will have the required resources to pay for services, to pay for roads, for example, to pay for hospitals, to pay our medical staff, to recruit more teachers. These are the things we are talking about. The Bank of Sierra Leone, you are in charge of monetary policy. And you are aware of the functions you have in the Banking Act 2019 that was passed by this House. You know your functions. You know you should be collaborating and working with the Minister of Finance, who is in charge of fiscal policy, and of course Parliament, particularly also the Finance Committee, which by law provides some oversight. We are very much aware of the autonomous clause you have in your Act, but that does not exclude institutions, Parliament, for example, the Finance Committee, from overseeing you. We will not necessarily interfere into your operations, but definitely we will do general oversight.
Your time is up. Your time is up.
Mr. Speaker, can I please for 1 minute, please? I will just run up. Please. Yes. Okay, thank you. So please, Bank Governor designate, you have a responsibility. So the Director General SLR designate. The trunk roads have a lot of potholes now. The road from Mashaka to Bo have a lot of potholes that can cause a lot of accidents for motorists flying those roads. And government have spent a lot of money, huge sums of money to do those roads. A, we may wish to avoid those accidents. B, we may not wish those roads to go out of, because their conditions completely. They have to be maintenance. They have to look at them, work in collaboration with the road maintenance board to see that those roads are fixed. And all of the roads named in the budget as presented by the Minister of Finance, please look at them and to ensure their implementation.
And with that,
for example, the road from Kenema to Zimi, the very future road. And thank you very much for that.
if you know you are a member of the appointments committee, please take your seat. Don't bother. I've sent for the list. I'll give you the floor, you are not a member.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, colleagues, members of Parliament. Today is a unique day that we
Honorable Tower, take your seat.
5 nominees seated here. Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, Engineer Alfred, Momodu, Augustine Tomi, and several others. We have them here. Many have been said about the road works. It's just somebody dreaming, seated in his comfortable chair and they're watching television, looking at New York and the skyscrapers, and he said, this is what I want to do in my village. He has no idea the cost of what he sees in television and how long time spent on it. I agree with the Honorable Member for my network to some extent. We were there on the roadworks committee. We woke up very early in the morning. I was up from my bed on Saturday morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, and I landed up at Joy Junction at 4 a.m. in the morning in order to carry out an effective oversight. And above all, I used my own vehicle When I came from that trip, I've expended over 6 million euro on my vehicle for maintenance, for my own pocket because of national duty. But when we look at things, we are dreaming at what we look at it in the road works. Remember that this government inherited over 600 billion loans that were taken from the bank, Mr. Speaker. This big money we are taking from the bank so that they could do road works. And the SRA inherited this. And they have paid this money from that time to date, which is about $35.3 billion they have paid. And notwithstanding, if you put what we have talked about it in this house, the two budgets, the road maintenance fund and road development, if you put the two figures together, you are just talking about 18.1 million euros for 2024 budget. And then the roads we are talking, if you put this money together, 600,000 euros per kilometers per road work in this country, you are talking about only a figure of 18.9 kilometers. We have been very considerate to have done roads for $500,000 to $600,000 per kilometer. The previous government, you are talking about over $1 million per kilometer to deal roads in this country. So, if you look at these figures, there's no way that Engineer Momodu, who is going to be the Director General, we expect him to do over 100-kilometer road in Sierra Leone when we have a budget to put together. The road maintenance fund and the road works budget we put together is just a little over $18 million. And this is a proposal. This is an estimate. This money, there is nowhere someone saying that money is lying somewhere to use and for the road work. So we have given you a very difficult task. I hope and pray that the Heavenly Father will help you to surmount this task. But it is still a very difficult task.
And with that?
With that, you and the bank governor, please do as much as you could to do the narrative and do the needful for Sierra Leone to move forward, and the rest of the other nominees that we have in this house. I encourage all members of this house to speedily approve these people so that they take lead in their jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me the floor.
I will take just two more.
Thank you.
The speaker, your friend is here. We are here.
One from Pujan.
No.
Mr. Speaker, I will speak for BT and Falaba.
No,
It's Falaba to BT.
I'll give the floor to the Honorable AKK. He's a new man. New AKK. After him, yes.
Are you the advocate for the Parliament? No, let's break this time.
The Paramount Chief.
And one more. Paramount Chief and one more.
The Paramount Chief from Ghana. You will be next. That completes the two on this side.
Paramount Chief is on the other side.
Paramount Chief is independent.
In that order, 3 minutes each, please.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Sierra Leone is a country of history, and
a very rich one at that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If you calculate the age of the current speaker and when he first was elected
in 1982.
A member of parliament when I was just 1 year old, Mr. Speaker.
You were 1 year old?
Yes.
When I darkened this corridor.
Thank you. And that was the time when we had challenging moments in our economy. And that was the time when we needed young people to save this country And in 1991 and 92, when we had the Civil War, we recruited young people again to save this nation. It is no doubt today, in almost every ministry, in parliament, MDAs, you see young people.
We are celebrating them.
It means we need to save this nation now. Good. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am of no doubt when it comes to the credentials of the people we have appointed in this house, from the 5th Parliament to the 6th Parliament, credential is not our problem. Qualification is not. Experience is either not a problem. What we have a problem with is performance. What we have problems with is saving our economy. The bank governor is qualified, but I have series of doubts. He worked with the administration that declared us austerity. He worked with administration that has allowed the dollar to fly as high as it is. It needs to give us assurance that heading that institution this time around will see better than what he has served in previous administrations. I have no doubt in his resume, no doubt. In his experience, no doubt. But in his time he spent in that institution, the time preceding the two administrations, we are the first economic time in our history. And even as my honorable member yesterday I said it was upon the man, I remember when the professor came to this house to defend the current trend at the time we were going to Corona. This deputy governor that is going to become the governor in a few hours from now was the key advisor to the governor. And that's what the act says. So I see no reason why I should not bring him in to say, I hope he will not act upon the advice he gave the outgone bank governor. Let's get it clear.
A good point, but with the following caveat. The buck does not stop with the advisor.
Mr. Speaker, I am only advising. I am not blaming him.
Mr. Speaker, sorry is my boss. Point of order, sir. And let me add to what you have said. And the governor speaks to the fact that on some section 4 of section 53, that anybody that is required to seek and solicit advice, the person that you are advising is not bound by the outcome of that advice. He has the option to take.
We say the same thing. Good.
Mr. Speaker, as Parliament, we cannot advise the nominees we are approving. Then we are not doing due diligence to the people who have elected us for service. We should not defend them. They are going to work for us. Let's tell them where the loopholes are and what we expect of them. So a man going to NPP. In the last 5 years, Mr. Speaker, in this world, we received reports from NPP. And the person who was in NPP is now at NRE. That promotion is not out of connectivity. It's not because he's connected to the presidency. No. When he was in NPP, the report he has laid in this house speaks to saving millions of dollars for this country. Yes. So the person who is going to that office must know that he's a gatekeeper of this nation's resources. We will not celebrate you because you are a young person. We say go and do more than the man who was there. I am not a celebrator of the nominees because I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So our brother going to SLRE, you know, when you talk about roads in this country, they are connected to health. They are connected to agriculture. The president is going to have Feed Sierraleone as a major project. I will call you one road, of which it is one of the areas the president has allotted that we are going to do major harvest and production of rice. The Samu Kitov Road. I am saying this with no hesitation. One of the things that allowed the people of South to reject Kanye Ukela in the previous elections is because that was the only thing they asked him to do, and he failed the people of Kanye State. Today, Samu Kitchen is one of the rights and places we are going to do, and cultivation of rice. We need that road for
I think I owe it to the Honorable Yumkela to protect it. He's not here to defend himself. So what you've just said is your own opinion.
And that's what I'm stating. My opinion, Mr. Speaker. So the road going to Samu is very important for the Feed Salon project. Mr. Speaker, when the Honorable Pombo was talking about the Kaila road, that they met the funds and the APC administration implemented the roads. Thank you very much for reminding me. That was the same with the Tonkolimba road. There were funds. It was approved in this house. They started the road from Kamakure coming to Kambia State. And that was the ring road that was going to open the new region, Northwest region. As we speak,
has been abandoned.
Tawa will tell you the story. Honorable Ibrahim Tawa from Tonkolimba. He's representing West Nigeria, he's from Tonkolimba. Honorable Benji will tell the story, he's from Tonkolimba. Our roads are bad in Kambia District. And that road was already allocated. And when we were going to the by-election, they took machines, including the mayoral candidate of SLPP in West Nigeria. It's also from Tonkolimba, Gento. They took the machines, they gave us confidence that they were going to make the road. The roads have been allocated, funds are already available. As I speak, not even. Mr. Speaker, you know, I pity the speaker. If you go to the road leading to his residence in Freetown, bad road. The road leading to MPT, bad road. The road leading to Parliament, bad road. And you know,
forgive him. Honorable members, forgive the Honorable AKK. You know, it is the human tendency. Although he is clothed in new clothing for the 6th Parliament, but occasionally he relapses back to the field. Carry on.
You know, SLIS, you know, this is not just the speaker. If you go to the road leading to the hometown of the vice president, bad road, terrible roads. And these are the key people in this nation. The president bad, the vice president bad road, the speaker 3 bad roads. Parliament, bad road. Going to State House from Parliament, bad road. You know, Mr. Speaker, we are saying this, but the truth is, it shows how much we depend on SLRE for us to have good roads. In the last 5 years, whether it's the presidential speech, the budget speech, we always mention roads that are going to be paved. I'll tell you, for the last 5 years, not even 1 kilometer road has been paved in the north. Not even one. I am not saying this because I am of the northwest. I am saying national resources need to be distributed equitably. Let me end by thanking you, SLI. You know, some of us are dual. When the provinces were in Western area. In my community, Mount Royal community, when you were making the inside bypass road, you constructed one nice school for us. And that has elevated the educational standard of our kids in that area, the inside bypass road. Crime rates in that area was also high. Today we can boast of a police station by SLRE. That is good. But I want to ask, what is happening with Wellington-Waterloo Road, constructed by the Chinese. That road was also meant to carry along goodies for the people.
The market.
The market.
See that.
What's about that? The MPs from Western rural area, they are here.
Okay, you will complete during the debate on the budget.
Mr. Speaker, before I end, you know, new offices bring good tidings and privileges. If you tell me to 3 minutes like other MPs, it is.
You don't more than 3.
As I conclude, Mr. Speaker, the bank government, NPPA, the road charter, it is not your personality that we question. We need more. You are exemplary of what people expect of the young people of this nation. If you fail, we'll not just call you out, but it will be a shame for us as young people. Both presidents have just let this nation into our hands. I am sure in the 7th Parliament, the Speaker is going to be much younger than the one we have now. Thank you.
I thank the honorable member from Gambia. You know, he always lives up to his bidding, like him or hate him.
He's planning something behind the scene.
Oh yes, the honorable Paramount Chief.
Thank you very much, Mr.
And then
Speaker.
after you, my last speaker before wind up will be the honorable.
Nobody from Pujao, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
More concession, please.
I want to start by thanking His Excellency the President for giving us these 5 sierraleoneans to serve in various capacities to carry our nation forward. I know we are constrained for time, so I'm going to be very brief. As I urge my colleagues for us to approve of their nominations, I want to zoom in on just 2 of them for time's sake. The first person I want to zoom in on is Alhaji Mustafa Toure. Alhaji Mustafa Toure is a household name from Colombia. He hails from where my mom comes from. Another thing we have in common is that we share the same alma mater, Jama Secondary School.
Why not both school?
Where Omar Ofufana, I saw him around a few minutes ago, where he also went to school. I can say without any fear or hesitation that I don't know of any Sierra Leonean living here in the country at the moment that knows about diamonds more than Alhaji Mustafa Toure. And also, he is a man that has the duty of community and he has integrity in abundance.
Wow.
I recall 17 years ago when I was elected as Paramount Chief of Takoro Chiefdom. I think it was the first month when I was elected. Somebody came with a parcel to me containing diamonds. I think to the tune of about 200 carats. 5 carats, 10, 15. And what that person needed to do was to ship these diamonds out of Sierra Leone, but he had no license. But the law permits for you to go to an exporter, somebody that has an export license, you can export your diamonds through him for a 3% fee. I went with excitement to his office and showed him the diamonds. Just by looking at them one look, he gave me the diamonds back. He said, Chief, these diamonds are not from Sierra Leone. Without even putting it through any form of machines, these diamonds are not from Sierra Leone. Go and give them to whoever gave them to you. I returned them, he saved me that day. So, can you imagine what some other person would have done? What he manifested, the highest form of integrity that day. He earned my respect. Not that I didn't respect him in the past, I had a lot of respect. But he's a man that is content. I also want to zoom in on the SLRA Engineer Momodu. About a month ago, Honorable Lamina stood under SO23 in this well to bring to the attention of members and also to the SLRA that the Kono-Matutuka Highway, there is a portion just after the Amastoafin that is not in good shape. And I want to bring that to your attention, sir, so that you can look into it, because millions of dollars were spent on that road. And I can say without any fear of hesitation also, that when the Minister of Finance read his budget last week here, the 3 APC members of Parliament here, the 7 from Kono, the 7 SLPV members from Kono, and my own self, who is the primary chief representative, were a little disappointed. But we'll leave that for the debate on the budget, because not a single road in Kono was captured. And I note here that Mr. Momodu, you have knowledge. In fact, last year, I could recall, I saw you on that road, the Koedu, Kaikodu, Kamanyano, up to the Guinea border. Like I said, we'll raise those issues when we start debating the budget soon. So once again, I want to urge my colleagues for us to approve these 5 sierraleoneans for them to help push our country forward. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
I thank the Honorable Paramount Chief from Kono, and I'll give the floor to the Honorable
from Bond District. Honorable Bintu Fatmata Bokari from Bond District. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity again today.
Let me advise, the last time I saw you speak, yes, I was not here. But I had the privilege of seeing you on social media. And you must have seen it.
Yes, sir.
And be guided by what you saw.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to His Excellency for giving us this fine nominee sitting before us this afternoon. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, I want to zoom in to the proposed Director General of SLRA and to draw the attention of him concerning our roads, more especially from Bond districts. The road leading to Imperi from Jagman Junction to Imperi is not good at all, Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament. And the road leading to Matru, from Matru to Go, is not good. And that's the road of the President. So please, Mr. Director General, you have to pay attention on that road. Bond District is the pride. Bond District is the pride of Sierra Leone. And that's the home of the President. And that road is not good at all. Our people is not happy. They are not happy at all for that road. Our people are not happy. They are not happy at all. Yes, sir. And let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, I will continue to speak. I will continue to speak in this way until my voice is heard, so that that road will be constructed. I am here representing my people, so that road to be completed. Thank you, yes.
Honorable member, two things.
Yes.
One, you've exhausted your time. Two, the honorable member from my 91. I don't think you were in the well when he spoke. He spoke so eloquently in drawing attention to the state of the road leading to the President's home. So you don't need to remind us again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But that is my place. So emphasize it more, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Because if I'm here sitting as a sitting honorable member of parliament representing my district, I have to buttress about that role. Thank you very much. So the other appointees sitting here, you are very important. But the thing is, Mr. Speaker, honorable members,
you've exhausted your time.
Thank you very much.
And I'll give the floor to the leader of the opposition.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable from Kono, with due respect to you, I will not give you the floor for the simple reason that you are a member of the Appointments Committee. Go ahead. No, it's not. Go on.
Mr. Speaker, firstly, let me give a very strong advice. When our honorable member of parliament from the other side is talking, I believe there should be decorum. There are times our attitude influences the way they speak. Let us comport ourselves whilst we listen to our colleague. We are here to protect ourselves. And quite apart from that, she's a woman and she will be accorded that.
Let me respond to that. I bear ultimate responsibility for this entire house. You know that. And I know you know what I mean. Good. When you rise to speak, you are representing the house to outsiders. Make sure you prepare yourself well before you catch my eye to speak. Because the image of your presentation is what will convey to the outside world the kind of image we are. And that I have a responsibility to protect. Go on.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is the first debate on appointment I am participating on as the leader of the opposition. And Mr. Speaker, honorable members, most times I see appointee jubilating. They will come with fanfare, t-shirts are printed, they are danced all over, and people are excited. Little do they realize that any appointment comes along with two things. An appointment will come with a blessing, I mean generational blessing, and an appointment will attract a curse, generational curse. You will agree with me, Adam and Eve were created and appointed by God to superintend over the Garden of Eden. They ended here with curse. Depending on how they comported themselves whilst holding the very office. And Mr. Speaker, honorable members, you and I would have vivid examples of previous civil servants who have held critical positions in this country and how they ended up, how their families ended up. It's because of how they comported themselves whilst they held offices given to them. Mr. Speaker, this House has a responsibility. And our responsibility is to make sure that we speak to these appointees so that when they assume office, they will know that they have a goal to achieve. It is always a blessing when you are appointed amongst your colleagues, out of 7 million Sierra Leoneans, you have been appointed. So the welfare of those who are even putting on this t-shirt on your behalf are on your shoulder, are on your head. How would you make their lives comfortable after assuming office? Should be our question. How do we seek their interest? Should be our utmost priority. But most times when people are appointed into office, they are particularly concerned about their own personal life and their own personal families at the expense of the people they are to serve. And this is where the cost comes in. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, all those who have been appointed have moral obligation to perform. By the way, I am an engineer by profession, and I also studied public administration. In engineering, we have the law of motion. It states that an object continues its state of rest or uniform motion except it is acted upon by some external force. So meaning, the institutions that you go in will continue as they were. Nothing will change if you yourself don't induce change into those institutions. By the way, induction is a borrowed term in engineering. It is the subtopic under a broader topic called electromagnetism. And it is defined as the process of getting an uncharged body charged by bringing it closer to a charged body. They are the charged bodies. They should influence changes in their community. They should influence changes in their institutions. It's appalling to note that somebody may be appointed and until he left the office, there is no change, no improvement. It was Reverend Dr. Momodu that once said, if you are in this society and you do not positively influence this society, you are a minus to this society. It would have been better you never existed in this society. So people are not good for the mere fact that you are here and you have been appointed means you owe a moral obligation to our people. Yes. Mr. Speaker, Mother Teresa also said, life cannot be worthwhile if it is not lived for others. So there are others who should benefit from your own life. If nobody is benefiting from you, then you are not worth existing. Mr. Speaker, today we all know the status of the country. And we all know the situation of the economy. The bank governor and the Minister of Finance both have a very critical role to play to change the economy of this country. Remember, the economy does not affect one political party or members of one political party. It affects Sierra Leoneans regardless of their party affiliation. That is why it should not be politicized. And that is why we should always seek to promote the interest of ordinary Sierra Leoneans. When I read statements from the Ministry of Finance in their micro-fiscal policies, they talk about stabilization of the economy. They talk about how the economy will gain its rightful place in the coming years. But when you read also the monetary policies from the ministry, from the Bank of Sierra Leone, it's different. They are saying, the bank is saying, in 2024, the exchange rate would be 28.95. Now it is 22.2. 2-something or 0.4. They are saying in 2024 it will be 28.95. You have a moral obligation to ensure that the projection media is defeated. If the exchange rate goes to 28.95, things will be extremely difficult for our people. They say only a ninja can stop a ninja. You and I are in our offices. They pay us on monthly basis. So we don't feel the economic crunch that the ordinary sierraleonean feel. We don't feel it. There are people who find it very difficult indeed to have a meal. Some people have even decided to change their staple food because of the economic crunch. Because we don't buy fuel, we have our cars and everything is okay. There are times it's very difficult for us to identify with the ordinary sierraleonean. So, Mr. Speaker, it's my prayer that the bank governor that we are about to approve, it's my prayer that it succeeds. If it succeeds, it's for the betterment of Sierra Leone. If it succeeds, it's for the betterment of our nation. I have said it that all of our people are subjected to the same economic conditions, regardless of their party. Regardless of their party. So it needs the support of this House. It needs our backing. Because this is the only country we have. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have also learned that one of the reasons that is affecting the banking system is the way they adjust their rates. Bank governor, you are there not to serve the government of Sierra Leone, but you are there to serve the people of Sierra Leone. So when they set the rates in the bank, let it not favor the government. Let it be realistic, and let it be what is obtaining on the ground, and let the people feel and see what are the rates. I have known that on several occasions, for things to look very palatable, they cook up the inflation rate by even including the free quality education into it. They cook up the exchange rates, and they cook up the interest rates, Mr. Speaker. So they look good, but ideally, the reality on the ground is different. So, Mr. Bank Governor, you owe a moral obligation. The welfare of the people of this country is in your hands. I have always made a comparative analysis between Sierra Leone and other neighboring countries. When you talk about global, all of these neighboring countries are subjected to these global conditions. But take a comparative analysis between Guinea and Sierra Leone. Their exchange rate. In 2018, when I went to Guinea, just with 100,000 euros, I was given 150 Guinean francs. In 2018. Now you go to Sierra Leone with the same 100,000 euros. You go to Guinea with the same 100,000 euros. You will get less than 35 Guinean francs. The difference is not as a result of global, because Guinea is part of this globe. It's as a result of poor monetary policies. Don't take decisions that will deteriorate our economy any further. You should be conscious and careful. Make the business people your friend. Work on the interest rate for these business people. Recently, I have seen businesses closing in Sierra Leone and going to Guinea to operate. Cold storage is a vivid example. Mr. Governor, you have a responsibility. You have a task. Don't think nobody will question you. Even if us as a parliament don't question you because of your political affinity, posterity will judge you for the conditions you subject our colleagues here. So this is not the appropriate time to jubilate. This is a time to reflect on what we have gone through as a nation, our economy, and see how best you go far, working with solutions for the betterment of this nation. I wish you well. I pray that you succeed. Amen. I pray that the economy of this nation changes. Amen.
So far.
Changes for the better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All of those who are seated at the gallery will be very happy to see a very flamboyant economy. They will be proud of you.
Like Singapore.
So, SLI, Engineer Momodu. I know one thing about engineers. Engineers are like utility. They can fit into anything. Engineers can fit into any circumstance. Any. Engineers are adaptable. Just because of our rigorous course in the university. The only course that can take you 5 years in the university is engineering. Yes, engineering, Wabe College. Wabe College, engineering. I took 5 years, not out of stupidity, but because I was intelligent, I was promoted to honors class. So I had to spend an extra 1 year. So, to you, the engineer, you have a moral obligation to this nation. If we go through state opening addresses of the president from 2018, 19, 2020, 2021, 2022, there are roads mentioned in almost all of those state addresses that have never been touched. Even in the budget, year in, year out, allocations are made for certain roads and they are neglected and disregarded. The Conakry road is one. Every year it's in the budget. Every year, Binti is two. So the first obligation you have is to ensure that these statements that the president have made publicly about constructions of road, you look at those rules so that at least the president will keep to statements he makes to Parliament. Look at them. And what I have learned also is the politicization of our institutions. There are some institutions, they look at you, they look at where you come from, and they don't give you responsibility. Remember, we are all sierraleoneans. All of us can't belong to the same political party. All of us can't belong to the same political party. There should be some political tolerance. Accept and respect people for where they belong. It is not a crime to be APC. It's not a crime. I would say the same thing when APC comes to power, that it is not a crime to be SLP. Some professionals in certain institutions are victimized because of their political party affiliation, because of their surnames, because of the region they come from. Shame to anybody who is engaged in those acts. They don't like Sierra Leone. They don't like our country. They don't like Sierra Leone. All of us can't be from the same region. All of us can't be from the same tribe. All of us can't be from the same political party. But all of us have elements in us that will promote this country. Let us utilize them, disregarding our political affiliation. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, if anybody is praying for these appointees not to succeed, that person does not love Sierra Leone. That person does not love Sierra Leone. It's our prayer that they succeed. Mr. Al-Haji Mustafa Toure, proposed Chairman Board of Directors, National Mineral Agency, NME. A lot of members of Parliament have staked their neck for you. They have said so many good things about you. You need to prove them right when you assume the office. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, like I have always said, success is another form of failure if we don't prioritize our priority. And our priority should be the people of Sierra Leone. Our priority should be making things easy for the people of this nation. Political parties will come and go, but the people will always remain. Today, it is SLPP. I can assure you with every alacrity that the next election will be APC. Immediately I see him say he met me personally, he said he wants to come to it. I said you cannot be switching political party all the time.
Ever see?
It's not the same thing as if you're going to come to the If you say the Parousia, maybe after 5 decades.
We'll talk possible.
I like what you said. We also said when we were in power that we've been in power for over 10 decades. So you are repeating the same thing. And when once a political party begins to say that they are very close to exiting power, that is what we said when we left power. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to crave the indulgence of this entire House to speedily approve these nominees. They are all fine personalities, and I'm of the opinion that this country will benefit from them. But when you get there, Don't think about yourself and your family only. Make the people your focus. May God bless you.
I thank the leader of the opposition for his contribution to the debate. Over to you, acting leader of government business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, honorable members, for the contribution. Thank you, the appointment committee, for doing due diligence and presenting nominees to the House. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'll begin by reading section 75D of the Constitution.
75 what?
75D.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I'll read 75D. The side note, qualification for membership in Parliament. This is 75, subject to the provisions of 76. Any person who D is able to speak and read, to read the English language with a degree of proficiency sufficient to enable him to take an active part in the proceedings of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying this because for some of us who've been here before now, we have seen members of Parliament whose contribution has been extremely very bad, but the messages have been very, very serious. So let us bear with ourselves as members of Parliament, and the Constitution did not qualify the level of education that one should possess to come to this House. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank the members of Parliament who have contributed to this debate. When I listen to my colleagues from the other side, I notice there is very salient points. And I have said this even before you come in this 6th Parliament, that these are the issues that I want us to raise, because at the end of the day, our faces as members of Parliament will be on the ballot paper. If these nominees fail, they will not just be failing themselves, they will be failing us as members of Parliament, and at the end of the day, we are the ones that will face our people, asking them for their votes. And the questions that will be put to us are the answers that these nominees should answer even before we face them. So, if we don't tell them the reality when they are here, then we are not doing ourselves justice. Because today, I can say, we have more than 50 members of Parliament in the 5th Parliament who are not fortunate to come to this Parliament, because some of them were not able to answer the questions that we have put to them. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, some of the issues that have been raised to the wrong persons. I noticed the bank governor have been put under a lot of pressure. A lot of questions have been put to him, but I believe some of these questions should be answered by the Ministry of Finance. And some of these questions should also be answered by this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have challenged this Parliament before now that if we can do our oversight role, taking cognizance of this Constitution, we can be able to save this nation, and development will reach the doorstep of our constituency. As members of Parliament, we are charged with the responsibility of providing oversight. Simply what the bank does is to regulate the banks and to keep our monies. But the rest of the development functions, monies that goes out, we should provide the oversight. And when we come here, we blame the executive. They are not doing this, they are not doing that. I'm also challenging again this Parliament and the various committees that going forward, it should not be business as usual. I want to see Parliament taking its rightful place in government. If we take our rightful position as per this Constitution, I am sure we'll change the narrative. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, We all know the issues, the problems that have been raised, the challenges about roads that have been raised to SLRA. These are problems that should be settled by the Ministry of Finance. I can tell you here, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, without fear, that the personnel in the SLRA are extremely very professional. Before the beginning of the year, they have a work plan. In that work plan, all the roads are factored. What you cannot do if you don't have the resources. You cannot do if you don't have the resources. Mr. Speaker, I was in this parliament in 2012, and 2012 through 2018, all of the roads have been paved per paper. When the former president, His Excellency and his Vice President comes to this parliament, he will give us a lot of assurance. All of these roads that we are still struggling with, we are on paper that the government will be voted. There was no presidential speech that the former president would not assure this House, and by extension, this nation, that he will not pay. In fact, we all know that 2018, 2012 through 2018 was a governance that was concentrated on these roads. If today, some 6 years down the line after he has left office, we are still struggling with these roads he should have constructed, then it means we need to do more. We, as a government, we are also making our promises that these are the roads His Excellency wants to construct. And I believe SLRA, they are doing their own bit. They are doing their visibility studies, doing their surveys, doing their work plans, and we submit these work plans to the Ministry of Finance for support. But if there is no resources, then we cannot do anything. So SLRA, I'll talk to the Director General, continue doing the good work, and I will ask this Parliament, let us join them in begging the Ministry of Finance to support these routes. If there are no funds, these roads will not be constructed. SLRA, they have the professionals. They are ready to send the bid out. They are ready to do due diligence. And they are even ready to award these contracts. As a parliament, we are ready to do our oversight. But when monies are not available, then these roads will not be constructed. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Bank Governor, you have a huge responsibility. One member of parliament, the member of parliament from Kenya said it. You were part of the team that ended up in austerity. You are also part of the team that took dollars to 203, 204,000. But it has been said that you are a deputy. You saw the mistakes that the leaders did while you deputized them. You gave your advice, they did not listen, some they listened. Today, you have been given an opportunity to be on top, to be in charge. You have seen the mistakes made by your predecessors. You have seen 2 bank governors before you. You have given them advice, they have not listened to you. You have seen the challenges, you have seen where they made mistakes, you have seen where they did some things correctly. You are now at the end to correct the mistakes they did. You were part of the mistakes. You were part of the mistakes. So if you don't correct the mistakes, if you continue with the mistakes the predecessors did, then you will be disappointed yourself and you will be disappointed in His Excellency. With the experience you have, you took over as deputy since 2014. I was here and I approved you. 8 or 9 years down the line, you've been deputy and you've seen two governments. You have seen where the government went wrong. You have seen the things they should have done that they should not do. You have seen the things they did that did not go well. You now have the opportunity to correct all of these challenges. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, excuses will not be tolerated. You will be the worst if you don't succeed because you are not new in that system. You know what has been going on. You will disappoint us and you will disappoint His Excellency. We hope you will not disappoint His Excellency. We hope you will not disappoint this parliament. And by extension, we will not disappoint the people of Sierra. So the SLRA Director General, of course, you have spent the bulk of your adulthood at SLRA. You have a lot of experience, considering you have spent more than 21 years as secretary. You have gone through the ranks. You also have the experience. You have seen the mistakes. You have seen general managing directors, FBS. You have seen your bosses. You have seen where they went wrong. You have seen the things they did correctly. You've seen SLRA at its peak. You have seen SLRA where it is today. You are charged, you have a responsibility to bring SLRA to where it's supposed to be. SLRA used to be an enviable institution before now. It used to be an enviable institution. Every engineer will want to work at SLRA. Today, you know where to enroll. You've been part of that system. You've seen the heydays of SLRA. You've seen where they are today. You are now in charge. You have your colleagues you went into SLRA at the same time. You have those that are senior to you. But today you've been blessed by God, by His Excellency. Not because you are the most professional, not because you do everything all that time. You've been blessed. And use that blessing for the good of that institution and for the good of Sierra Leone. You have a responsibility to bring everybody on board. You have senior engineers, you have junior engineers, you have new ones coming to join you. Please make sure you unite that institution. Make sure you work with everybody. I know, definitely, some people will not be appreciative. These are positions everybody wants. But work with them, carry them along. These challenges are not unique to you. It will not be unique to you. Carry them along. Make sure your focus is to succeed. And you must succeed. If you don't succeed as a young man, you will fail the young people of Sierra Leone. Because as a young man, you will be the youngest Director General in that institution. You will be the youngest, and your performance will make room for young people to occupy that office. But if you fail, you are failing with the young people, and in the future, no president will be bold enough to appoint a young person in that office. Please do us proud. Please make His Excellency proud. Because the confidence His Excellency has in young people is extremely huge. We have very senior engineers who should have occupied that position. But His Excellency is and he has believed in it. Mr. Speaker, when we are talking about road distribution, I listened to the MP who said the road to His Excellency's home is an eyesore. I agree with him entirely. That is why the 6th Parliament has taken the responsibility to help SLRA and the contractor. We were on the ground some few days ago. The honorable member from Bo can attest. The honorable member from Tom College, a cross-section of members of the committee, they are on the ground to have a first-hand information from the day we went to that ground. There has been a huge improvement because I have called in on a daily basis to see what is happening, to know what is happening. But Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when we talk about distribution, I want my brothers to just thank His Excellency and say this is a good president. Because I was in this parliament in 2012 and we know how the distribution went. I can say it often that when we had money, when the Bank of Sierra Leone was doing well, the Ministry of Finance was doing well, I know how roads were distributed. We have 38 kilometers given to Makeni Township in the north, and 7 kilometers given to Magoroka Township, 5 kilometers given to Lusa in Poloko. In the same Poloko, 7 kilometers given to Poloko. In the same Poloko, 5 kilometers given to Lunge, and in Bo district, 4 kilometers given to Bota. In Kailau district, 3 kilometers given to Kailau. In Bond district, 3 kilometers given to Bond. If we talk about distribution, we should power ahead and tap His Excellency the President. At that time, the priority was road construction. But when His Excellency came, he said, we are going to give free quality education. We distributed evenly. Every district enjoyed the free quality education. We did not distribute, we did not go to Mo. Yes, I struggle out to Kailau and give them more. We gave every district as per the numerical strength, as per statistics. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all members who have contributed. And for the road leading to Parliament, I will appeal to you as Director General, please factor that in your work plan. in your work plan, this is the house, this is the house that this is all, and this is the house that approves. On a yearly basis, His Excellency comes to this house to give a state of the State of the Union address. And this road is an eyesore. So please make sure you capture this road in your work schedule, and we'll try to talk to the Ministry of Finance to support. We know, I know as a chairman of work, that SLRA, what we do is just to make a work schedule. But the financing of these roads are not with SLRA. The financing is being done by the government of Sierra Leone through the Ministry of Finance. So all of the problems, all of the blames, anywhere we go, we see roads, bad roads, this road, we call SLRA because people don't understand that what SLRA does, they cannot do unless monies are available to them. So what we thank all the ones that have been appointed, nominated, Mr. Ture, the Honorable members, he told us in the interview that we will see Momodu Fofana here today. And today, when he told us in the interview, today Momodu Fofana is here to appoint. He said, you are an admirer. That has manifested itself. We heard what the paramount chief said. Of course, having listened to the Konoe bill aside, they have told us that they are very good man in Kono, and they are experts in diamond. Your CV speaks volume. We are wishing you well. At the interview, you had questions, you had the challenges we have brought up. Please make sure you listen to them. Please make sure you take things from them. We'll be following up. I have challenged this parliament that committees should not be again. Committees should do their oversight based on the Constitution. As a leadership, we are going to give our committees the support they need, the support they deserve, so that we can hold the executive to account. Because if we come here day in, day out and begin to blame the executive, once we have the powers to provide oversight, we will not be doing ourselves good, and we will not be doing the people of Sierra Leone good. So as a leadership, we have said, we are giving you the free hand to perform your duty. Make sure we ask the executive to account. So to the man going to the local government commission, you have been part of the civil service for long. You know the challenges. At the interview, you are able to explain to us the problems, the challenges of the local councils and the local government. Please go, make sure you do well. I'm going to the man who stays at container area and is going to SLP as a board member. Please, you are representing the Labour Congress, right? Please make sure you serve them well, serve the workers very, very well at that board. And Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to thank all. Of course, when we talk about our roads in our rural areas, we also should bear in mind that we should also begin to tax. We should also begin to challenge the councils, because some of these roads have been devolved to these councils. So I encourage the Committee on Local Government to begin asking questions to these councils. What are they doing? Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I used to say, the people are still of the conviction that we members of parliament are responsible for primary development. At the end of the day, the questions that are put to us, SO2, what you don't do for people. Because this is what they believe members of parliament should do. Like roads, feeder roads, some of them have been devolved to this council. So I'll challenge the committee responsible for local government to be asking questions to council, what are they doing? Because at the end of the day, the councillors, our councillors believe they are principal assistants to us. They are not. Council is an autonomous institution. They should carry their own responsibilities, and we should ask them to answer. Go to our constituencies. Some of these councillors are responsible for the demise of members of parliament. So, honorable members, I want to thank you all. I want to congratulate you. I wish you well. Following up on you, members of parliament, we come into your offices. Please open your doors, pick their calls. They are not coming to beg. They are coming to advocate for their constituents. They are coming to advocate for their constituents. Please don't go and keep them in your waiting room. These are very senior members of state. Today, when you come to this party, today, when you be nominated, you are running after us for approval. You come to our offices, you give us phone calls, When once you go to these offices, when members of parliament call on you, you don't even pick their calls. When they visit you, you don't even go to the offices. And it's wrong. We have said all of the appointees that are fortunate to be appointed in this 6th parliament. They have come, most of you have come, we have approved you. If for any reason you treat the members of parliament badly, in future, if you are appointed, this parliament will not approve you. Because we treat you the same way you are treating us. We are getting the report on a daily basis. When we go to your offices, they call us as leaders and this is how you treat. Please treat them with the utmost seriousness they deserve. They don't go to you to them. They go to you, taking into consideration, they don't perform for their people. They'll be kicked out. Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much.
I thank the leader of
Let me proceed this. Mr. Speaker, in that bill, I move that be it resolved that the 10th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointment and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendation contained herein be approved.
Honorable members, the question is that the 10th report of the first session of the 6th Parliament of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service be adopted by the House and that the recommendations contained therein be approved. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. And those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, it is now my singular honor to add my own voice. Okay, you go.
Motion of the Committee on Appointments and the Public Service has been approved.
I wish to add my own voice to the chorus of commendations and approvals that have been echoed and re-echoed right through the debate on this report. And all I can say is to say indeed the appointees will go in the full knowledge that the confidence reposed in them by His Excellency the President has been replicated by the entire House of Parliament. So it is now their duty to go and prove their mettle and indeed demonstrate that the confidence that we've all reposed in them is not misplaced. I am confident that the appointees will definitely live up to our expectations. So, on behalf of the House, we extend our very best wishes to all of you for your success and for the great contribution that this nation expects from all of you. Good luck in your new assignments, and you go with the blessings of this House and with others' blessings. With that, honorable members, I will stand the House down for 5 minutes for us to return and deliberate on the last item on our order paper.
Don't I keep that?